Hello everybody, Eric here at the Monterey Company, here to talk about your hat project and whether we should use direct embroidery on the hat or if we should add a patch to the cap. And just to give you a quick overview on what those two are, pretty self-explanatory. Direct embroidery is us putting your cap under the embroidery machine and it actually stitching your design on the cap. Very cool. Patch, more self-explanatory. We produce a patch and then we sew the patch onto the cap. So let's get into it. First thing we're going to do is we're going to look at your design. So with embroidery, your design to a certain extent has to be pretty simple for us to produce. A lot of times just text alone works good. Not small text, but just text alone works really nice for embroidery. Or if your logo is pretty simple, we can embroider it nicely on the cap. But if your design is very detailed, has color gradients in it, we're going to push you more along to the patch design. For instance, if your design has a sunset on the back, sunset plumbing, and it has a sunset in the background, that is going to be really, really hard to do with embroidery. The transition from yellow, red to orange, we'd have to break that up into solid colors and it would more or less look like a rainbow rather than a sunset. But with a patch, we could do a dye sublimated patch, maybe even a woven patch could accomplish more of that look, to where color gradients are okay, high detail is better. We'll produce the patch, put it on the cap, and sew it in for you. Next, I want to talk about the different varieties. When you're doing direct embroidery, you're really pigeonholed into two different looks: flat embroidery or 3D embroidery. Flat embroidery is just your design stitched right onto the cap, nice and flat and flush with the front or the side of the cap. With 3D or puff embroidery, there's an actual piece of foam underneath the embroidery, which gives it kind of a rounded look, like on this OHP hat. It's a nice rounded look on the cap. Looks really nice, but that's really it that we can do for embroidery. But if we're going over to a patch, there's a much more variety of options. So we can do, as far as threaded patches go, we have dye sublimated, we have an embroidered patch, we have woven patches. All can achieve a different level of detail on them. We also have leather patches, which are very popular right now. Stamping your design into leather and then sewing that, or engraving your design into leather and sewing that. Another one is PVC rubber patches. Those have been insanely popular lately. But with those, they do achieve an almost 3D look with raised and recessed areas and rounded looks, and they kind of pop out of the front of the cap. All very cool. So there's a lot more variety if you're going to choose patches as opposed to embroidery. One more thing to consider is, what's my budget looking like? Generally, embroidery is a little bit cheaper, although we do have some less expensive patch options. So, am I giving these away at a golf tournament? I'm probably going to want to go over to direct embroidery to cut a little bit if it's a giveaway product. Another thing too is my timeline. Do I need them out quick? Do I need them for that golf tournament in 2 weeks? You're going to want to go embroidery for those, because with patches, they generally take a little bit longer. So we're looking 4 to 6 weeks generally for patches. Embroidery, we're in the 2 to 3 week range. So if you need them quick, definitely go with embroidery. So all things to consider when you're doing your hat project. If you have any questions at all, feel free to throw them in the comments. I hope this video was helpful. Give us a call, email us too, and yeah, we are happy to help. Thanks for watching.